President Biden pardons Marcus Garvey, two men convicted of international crime to be deported to Jamaica, 18 traffic deaths reported in first 17 days of the year, man sentenced to life for murdering his wife. This is Undiluted News, Mikey Bones reporting. U.S. President Joe Biden on Sunday pardoned Jamaica's first national hero Marcus Garvey, the organizer of a mass black rights movement, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, who was convicted on bogus charges in the United States in the 1920s. Garvey was convicted of mail fraud and was sent to prison, and his sentence was commuted by President Calvin Coolidge in 1927, and he was deported to his homeland, Jamaica. Garvey was credited as a huge influence on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and other civil rights leaders. Dr. King said of Garvey he was the first man on a mass scale and level to give millions of black people a sense of dignity and destiny. Black congressional leaders, including Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, a daughter of Jamaica immigrants, had a push for Biden pardon Garvey. The willingness to right historical wrongs not only restores honor to Marcus Garvey, but also paves the way for future dialogues on race, equality, and justice. And President Biden will go down in history as one of the great presidents, unlike the one coming in. U.S. media are reporting that raids to detain and deport migrants living in the United States without permission are set to begin on the first full day of the new Trump administration today. According to the New York Times and Wall Street Journal, the operations threatened by Balthazar Tom Homan could begin in Chicago, a city with a large migrant population, as early as tomorrow. In an interview with Fox News this week, Mr. Homan promised a big raid across the country, and he has previously said Chicago will be ground zero for the mass deportations. Meanwhile, two Jamaican men have been convicted in the United States for their involvement in an international money laundering organization that laundered more than 6 million US over 5 years starting in 2016. A district judge in Massachusetts on Thursday found 61-year-old Saint Devon Anthony Cover guilty of 1 count of money laundering conspiracy and 7 counts of laundering of monetary instrument, and his co-accused 59-year-old Dennis Raymond Rowe was found guilty of 1 count of money laundering conspiracy, 1 count of money laundering, and 2 counts of laundering of monetary instruments. During the first 4 trial days, the court heard that Cover and Rowe participated in a sophisticated international money laundering organization that transferred millions of dollars in drug trafficking proceeds from Colombia cartels throughout the United States, Caribbean, and European banking systems, and a sentence date has not yet been set. A member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force attached to the St. Anne's Police Division was on Thursday night taken into custody by members of the Major Investigations Division. The constable is being investigated for allegedly being a member of a leading criminal gang in Spanish Town in St. Catherine. A source close to the investigation said that the constable was picked up while on duty and then taken to Kingston, where he will be further questioned. The St. Andrew North Police seized one 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 13 rounds of ammunition and arrested one man during an operation in Rock Pond in Red Hills in St. Andrew on Friday, January 17. Reports from the Red Hills police are that about 2:58 a.m., lawmen were in the area when they responded to an explosion. When they conducted a check of the area, a man was seen whose actions aroused their suspicion. He was accosted and searched. When the firearm was found in his possession, he was taken into custody in relation to that seizure. The Island Traffic Authority is reporting that 9 of 18 people who have been killed in motor vehicle crash this year are pedestrians. 3 were motorcyclists and 2 were pillion riders. Also killed as of Friday, January 17, were 1 pedal cyclist, the driver of a private motor car, 1 commercial vehicle driver, and 1 driver of a public passenger vehicle. Meanwhile, 30-year-old Moesha Sinclair, otherwise called Rasta, or Dwayne of Julian Drive in Kingston 13, was charged with possession of ammunition following an incident at his home on Friday, January 17. Reports from the Hunts Bay Police are that about 12:30 p.m., lawmen conducted an operation in the community when Sinclair was seen acting suspiciously. He was accosted, and while being searched, 5 9mm rounds of ammunition were found in his possession. He was subsequently taken into custody and was later charged with the offense. A man who was convicted of murdering his wife during a domestic dispute and then driving himself to a police station shortly after was on Friday sentenced to life imprisonment in the St. Catherine Circuit Court. The convicted Peter Walters was ordered to serve a minimum of 18 years in prison before he is eligible for parole. Walters pleaded guilty to the 2022 murder of his wife, 34-year-old Nikisha DaCosta Walters, a farmer of Berkshire Hall District near Linstead in St. Catherine. Meanwhile, the town of Old Harbour in St. Catherine has been rocked by the shocking murder of a popular local pastor who was gunned down in the town center on Saturday night. Pastor Michael Spencer, a well-known pastor at the Overflow Anointing Peace GS Church, was fatally shot by unknown assailants near Lincoln Plaza sometime after 8 p.m., according to residents. Images are now circulating on social media of the crime scene, where residents gathered there as they looked on in shock. And the police have yet to release a formal report on this pastor's shooting. Onto sports, cricket left-arm spinner Jomel Warrican delivered a career-best performance with figures of 7 wickets for 32 runs, but it wasn't enough to prevent the West Indies from falling to a 127-run defeat against Pakistan with 2 days remaining in the first test at the Multan Cricket Stadium on Sunday. Pakistan began day 3 at 109 for 3 with a 202-run lead, but Warrican made a statement of intent as he dismissed Saad Shakil for 2 with the opening delivery. Warrican also claimed Mohammad Rizwan for 2 runs as well, and Kamran Kulam for 27 soon after, as well as Sajid for 5 as the hosts were bowled out for 157. Warrican finished with match figures of 10 for 101, and with West Indies chasing now 251 to win, Pakistan spinners then took center stage again despite the best efforts of Aliz Athanzi, who kept things ticking over with 55. However, Altanese, playing in only his 12th test match, was eventually dismissed by Sajid, who finished with 5 for 50. West Indies were then all out for 127, leaving them well short of their target as the hosts drew first blood in the series. On to football, Bogue FC beat defending champions Granville United 1-0 to win their first game in the St. James Football Association Major League game played at the UDC field on Saturday. And after losing their first 3 games, they finally got their first win thanks to a 40-minute goal from Jalil Barrett as Granville United stayed winless and are now at the bottom of Zone A. Green Pond Soccer Club meanwhile stayed at the top of the tables in Zone B after a 3-0 win over Cambridge FC, while Flankers move up to second place after a similar margin against Norwood Strikers. On to Premier League, Mount Pleasant continues at the top of the table, beating Arnett Gardens 2-0. Humble Lions edge Chapelton Maroons 1-0. Portmore did a mighty big beating of 4-0 beating on Harborview. Tivoli beat Dunbeholden 2-0, while Waterhouse clapped Vere United 3-0. And that's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.